Alright, so today I'm going to teach you how to do a portrait. This is something a little bit different than what I normally do, but one of my subscribers requested, and this is him. His name on here is EK Bayon. I believe, please, I hope I pronounced it right. But check out his channel. He's a video game channel. I'll put the link here. And he requested this. So, before we start real quick, I wanted to recommend this book. This book is a must-buy. Please, please get it if you haven't. This book's amazing. Basically, it just trains you how to draw better, you know, how to see things in perspective, how to draw things. It's just amazing. Please get it. It's a really good book because it's quick to read. It has little great quotes on the side. And, you know, these are like, it shows portraits of people, how much they've improved from the book. Like, you could see this is, I don't know if it'll show on camera, but that's before and that's after the book. And just, it's amazing because a summary of this book is the right side of the brain. It is the side that controls the processes of drawing. It's the non-analytical side. And so it just really is amazing. Get this book. It helped me a lot. Shows you how to get in the drawing zone, and really great. Pick that up, it's fairly cheap. And so let's get started with this. This is a good one. This will be fun. I'm going to use a 4H pencil to start with. And basically when it comes to doing portraits, there's three things I keep in mind when I start drawing. Number one is proportions. You always have to remember, you know, how long is the nose in comparison to the chin and lips and all that. So proportions, line. Always be looking, you know, which way does the lines arch? Like, look at this eyebrow. It's arching downward. So when I draw it, it's going to be arching downward a little. Same with the eyes. They're both arching. They're not on the same horizontal line. This one's a little higher. So line is another one. Proportion, and then I believe shapes. Shapes was the last one. Just take notice of all the different shapes. Now you have this kind of shape and break it down. So real quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time, you know, doing, because it's kind of big, but not real big. Because, you know, a huge one could take an hour. So real quick, when I look at a portrait from this side, I always usually start with the nose. And the nose is kind of this line, so I'm just going to start. And the 4H pencil is great. I haven't used pencils like this in a while. I've been using mechanical. But just, it has this line, and then it goes up. And the line comes in, and then it goes out like that. And once again, this is why proportions are important. I made it a little bit too long because I have to remember the size of the paper I'm dealing with. But the nose, this mark goes out, it comes up, it goes inward, then kind of goes out. So that's the first line I'm going to start with. And the reason I start with this first line is because, basically because I can measure everything else from that line. Like right here, because that one line about the forehead, this to this, the forehead's a little bit longer, so the forehead's going to be up here somewhere. And this is what's great about drawing. So now that I got that line, and now I can work around it. And it's all about proportions and things. And another really important tip, whenever I do a drawing like this or anything drawn by eye, I bounce around. Constantly do that. Just don't work in one area. We'll make a line here, like where the nose is, mark there, and then mark. Well, the lip is about the whole, this bump of the nose. There's a bump there that the nose kind of comes in, and then it goes outward, a little ridge here. And it comes in. And this whole bump, it's about the size from there to there, and the lip starts about right here. So make a mark for the top lip. The lip ends about almost even with the nose. So make a little mark here to show that's the lip. And make all these little marks and things. That's what's important. Is you want to keep making marks just as measurements. And just bounce around all over. That's the biggest tip I can really give in terms of doing this. So the mark here for the lip, right on the nose, and the lip goes this long and it ends about a little outward from the nose. And here's the mark where the nostril is. I'm just making the nostrils real quick. So the basic nose looks something like that. Then it comes up into that. And this lip ends about right there. And really, when it comes to this, just keep making that, and then we'll go back and work in the values later and things. Stuff like that. And the bottom lip's a little wider and it arches down like that. The top lip comes in, goes down. The top of the lip kind of goes down again. And always, once you get into the habit, like it's hard to talk and do it because I'm thinking of what I'm going to say, but you'll get into a habit when you start to draw that you're constantly just bam, bam, putting things down, you know the marks, and that's kind of what's enjoyable about drawing. So real quick, we got the lips, this whole mark, as you can see on the face, and this is what's nice about using a photo, you can actually put your fingers down, but it's about a little longer than the nose. So from there to there, it's a little longer, so about right here I'm going to end it. And that will be the chin. And the chin just goes up, arches all the way up to the lips, and the rest of the head. And it goes up this way. It just comes up. And then the neck comes in. So for the eyes, this kind of eyebrow goes down, so I'm making a mark. It comes up, and it's pretty wide. It's about the same length of the lip. So you got that length, so just mark it, and then it comes upward, and it goes down. So this is kind of the eyebrow, and then the other eyebrow, it's a little bit higher. It goes outward. And kind of curves downward like that. And the eyes, this eye sits right in here and it just goes up. It's pretty skinny, curves up again, and then the top of the eyelid arches all the way up, touching the eyebrow almost. And it starts right here on the nose, and the same with this eye. And this eye starts higher. There's a higher point on that line. So this eye is going to start about right there. It's got an arch to it almost. This eyebrow actually goes up a little higher. That's why I like using a 4H, because it erases easy. And this line goes up a little higher like this. And this side just goes in and sits right in there. You can see where the lip is. It's almost at the end of the eye. So right there, that's another mark, so I know about how long the eye is. And the top of the eye just overlaps that. Then I'm not going to worry about the eyebrow, but the nose, from there to there, it's about the length of the nose, a little more. So where the top of the head is going to be, where the hair will start. And the hair, this won't be on camera, I'll zoom out and show it. But so this comes in, and so far you got the basic structure of the face. Just making these lines. This line's a little wider. You got the basic face structure, and then the neck comes in, and the neck will be here. And I'm not going to draw that, but I just want to get the main facial features. Then the ear is right here. It's at the bottom of the eye, right there, and then just comes down, and it goes all the way. You can see again how it touches the bottom of the lip. And that's just another point you want to make. And it arches out. It's about that big. And it just curves inward. And then his hair starts about here, right here, and it kind of comes out, and you can see as it touches the top of the eyebrow here, like in the picture, then it kind of juts inward. And he's got this really cool hair, it just comes out. And then when it gets to the top, the hair kind of arches up like that. And like I said, I'll zoom out, I'm sorry, maybe just let me lower this. Then it arches up, and the hair, you can see, takes this huge arch. And when it gets to about right by the eyebrow, right here, I'm making a little mark there to note it, and then it curves down and goes down like that. And so the rest of the hair is all back this. And the hair, that measurement, once again, this is why I'd start with the nose, because that little hair, it's about half the size of the nose. So this right here, about half the size of the nose, you have the hair starting. So about that wide. That's about that mark. So that's what's so important about making the mark. So then I know now the hair is going to go about that high. And I hope that showed up. I'm sorry if it didn't. It's hard to get it sometimes. But so all this will be the hair. So let's just go back and start really filling in things. This is where the fun part. So now that you got your basic markings done, you know, you can go back, and the nose, like I said, has a little ridge there, a little bump, kind of just comes out. This part here. And let's go back and use a 3B pencil. 3B is pretty dark. Let's just go back now and really define these lines. This is what's enjoyable. You know, you have this here. I'm just going to really finish the drawing. And this isn't going to be like extremely finished because of time, like I said before, but just enough so you kind of get the idea how to start a drawing, how to do it if you need to draw it, you know, how you look. And get the book. The book will help you. But you can see here there's a little arch going up, and then this nostril kind of curves out. And it's very dark right there in the nostril. And one of the biggest things is a lot of people may say, never use lines. You know, you want to make it look realistic. You want to actually use a lot of lines. Not a lot, but just in the areas that kind of define, like here in the nose. And then all this is shadow. I'm just going to go in here, blend it. The shadow comes under here. And then go back with the blend stuff. But you really do want to use lines. Like if you look at a lot of classic drawings and other drawings and things, like Renaissance drawings, they use a lot of lines just to define the objects. Because you got to remember, it's a drawing, it's not a photograph. You're putting your own artistic style to it and things. So real quickly that, and then you got a little under here. I'm just looking at where the shadow, and this tool is great for doing this. You have a little shadow here. And then come back, I'm going to do the lips real quick. The lips, you don't want to put too much line because this area isn't in too much line, but it just comes up right where the tip of the nose is, right here. It kind of arches down and goes up and over. And this one, same thing, gets over there. And the bottom lip is a lot wider, and the lips kind of end like that. And you can just you don't have to make a whole line for the bottom lip. I like to just leave it space. But top lip in this picture is darker, so just go back and shade it. So it'll be darker. And then there's a little reflection here, so you can just make the line. I really enjoy drawing lips, because they're just a lot of detail. And then you have a little ridge here, which I'm just going to put in. What the heck? What did I do with my pencil? What the heck? Where's my pencil? The pencil I was using just disappeared. What the hell? Oh my gosh, I about freaked out. Then you just put this here. There's a little erase, not too much, so I'm going to erase just to give it a look. And then go back, do the top lip. And all I'm doing is just looking at the photo now. Now that I got the proportions in, I'm looking at the photo where the value is, and there's a little value around here. And all this, there's kind of a shadow that comes around the mouth, kind of. And right now I'm blending it kind of rough. But you can take your time and put more. You can take your time and do it a lot smoother. But that's what's great about this kneaded eraser. You can go back with the eraser and then just very lightly roll. This is a great technique, actually, using that and then come with the eraser, because it almost gives it the skin-like look. It smooths it out and takes some off. But so that's that part. And then under here, you want to make a real dark line. His chin kind of comes upward. I like doing these lines that are strong. And then this line juts up pretty high. Pretty good angle. And it kind of dips in just a little. You can see from the photo, and then it comes out. And that's where the ear connects to. So you can start to see now that. So basically the rest, comes pretty easy. It's a matter of now value, shapes, and things like that. Because whereas before you're dealing more with proportions, and that's why. See, and then I'm just doing the outline for the shirt because I'm not going to do the rest. But like I said before, you're dealing with all these proportions and things, whereas now you're dealing with shading. So real quick, the eyebrows, believe it or not, eyebrows are crucial. They really do make the character of someone, because it's a very defining feature that it's overlooked, and that's what I learned in school, is that eyebrows really do tend to make that figure look like someone. So with his, it kind of gets very dark here, and it kind of goes downward like that. So make it dark and lines. Don't be afraid to get a lot of lines. And then it kind of tends to get lighter towards the end, and you can see that in the photo.